Welcome back to Let's Fabricate. My name is Cody, and today I have a special guest here,
Michael Roberts.
and he's with CMR Fabrications, and he's got these carbon fiber pancake hoods that I've been using here in the shop for a little while, and I've tested out, and it's pretty slick. So tell us why anybody would want to use a carbon fiber pancake hood.
Well, that's a common question, Cody. You get guys that are used to working in shops, or they're out fabricating and building, and flip up is the most common. You know, you get a performance or a digital elite, or you get something really nice, and most people are used to that type of hood. This does have a particular application. You know, they call them pancakes, or not pipeliners. Pipeliners are those other ones that kind of look like sugar scoops, but this is a pancake hood is what the guys use if they're out on the row, if they're chasing pipe, and this assembly line setup, and it's for efficiency. Everything that they do out there has a process for making things work smooth, because you're chasing pipe for miles. You know, you got all kinds of conditions you got to work with. You got a ton of different crews. You got the guys dropping the pipe in, you got the guys testing the pipe, you got the guys painting the pipe, and you just got all kinds of stuff. You got your bead team, then you got your hot and fill team, and you got your cap team. So there's a lot going on, and there's not a lot of this. There's just not a lot of flip in the hood. But the basic difference, this is my daily burner, one of the prototype ones that we made at CMR Fabrication. The biggest and most significant difference about a pancake hood is when you're out in the weather, you're out there and the pipe is on the ground, and there's no way to move that pipe. So if your sun's coming from east to west over the top of you and splitting you perpendicular, you're going to end up at some point with the sun behind your back. And in a standard hood, when you flip down, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but before you strike that arc, that light gets in there and you can see your reflection inside the lens. It can be a pain in the butt. And you think, oh, well, what's the big deal? Well, it is a big deal, because if you're out in cold weather, I've been welding up in North Dakota, and you got this thing on, and your breath gets up in there and fogs up your stupid lens. You can get dust in the back side there, and sparks coming in, that sucks. But the cool thing about a pancake is you shape this box to fit you custom, and they're super, super light. And they got that headband so they keep them on there snug. But when you stick your face in this thing before you strike that arc, it's just crystal clear and beautiful. And when you strike the arc, there's no shadows, there's nothing in there, there's no glare, there's no smoke coming up in there, there's no sparks getting in there, you're not fogging up your lens, and it's really convenient. And like I said, you know, when you're chasing pipe like that, your brother-in-law, most likely, you got another guy on the other side of the pipe, and he's going down from 12 to 6, and you're going down from 12 to 6, unless you got some uphill rod or something. But basically, you're coming down that pipe, and you're going down one side, and I just need to protect my face, and I need to protect my ear. So, you know, we'll put our welder's cap on, put a flap over our ear, put this bad boy on that side, no sparks in the ear. And it protects amazing, super light, it's not big and bulky, you're not flipping all the time. Basically, you're going to get it in a position where it's up here, and we wear them like that. And then as soon as we get to where we are ready to start striking, and I can see perfect. You know, everything's fine. Look what I need to do. I get in a position and I just go. And once you strike that arc, that's when you can really tell the difference. Especially if the sun's coming from behind, or there's other things going on. There's nothing but that weld happening. You know, and of course you want to get yourself a good quality lens, but that's auto darkening lenses. You can put them in there. You can put passive lenses in them. Passive lenses work awesome. But the basic difference is when you're working that long and working out in those conditions and you're doing things, you need a hood to do a particular thing. In a shop, in controlled conditions, or where you can flip your material and you want to burn like this, or you've got the light in the back of your hood so you can move you over here and work this way. Those conditions don't exist, especially when, I've got my rig here and we're out. You might be 12, 13, 14, longer hours just chasing that pipe all day in whatever weather comes. And the pancake is so comfortable because it's perfectly fit to your face. It's so light. It serves that exact purpose. And that's why guys have kind of just gravitated towards that type of hood out in the field. I mean, you're going to get guys that wear it because everybody else wears it. But as soon as they use it for what it's for, they're like, oh, okay, I get this. There are some give and takes, though. I mean, if you don't have, we've got companies that for the longest time, there are a lot of companies out there, they'll pay for it. They're paying for your arm, maybe you're $7,500 for your arm, $17 for your trucks and per diem, and they provide a helper. And it's only until recently that companies have been getting kind of stingy, yeah, kind of dumb about it, and that's unfortunate. And that's when certain conditions start to change. Or like if you're building, you're on a facility build, or you're building a battery or something like that, and maybe you don't have a helper. So when you go to grind, there is some give and take. The give and take is that you're not flipping it down. You're not able to flip it down and hold something with two hands. That's one thing. But it's not that big a deal. The adjustment you make is not that hard. The other one is too, is that if you do have it down and you're trying to grind, those sparks are going to set that off. Right. Not in every condition, but for the most part it will. You get in the groove and you get going, but if you're cleaning things up with the wire wheel, that's not the problem, and it'll protect you. So there are some slight give and takes, but it's application, necessity. So you're in a situation with, like I've got guys that TIG weld, and so they'll use a mini like yours is. So here's the newest version of our mini, for tight places. And you can just get into some really good spots with these things. It's not that difficult. And we can modify them however you want. A lot of guys do. They'll 45 their corners or cut whatever. Because you've ever seen, you've seen some of these guys on pipe and their feet are sticking up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
You don't see that in a shop. No. Everybody takes that, whatever it is they're working on, and flips it over. Yeah. And so it's per the application. And when, I have a lot of people ask why. And as a matter of fact, when I was out, I was single-handed for a company for, 3 years. And I couldn't figure out why for the life of me people would wear that thing. I'm like, that is ridiculous. Yeah. Makes no sense. But I didn't have a helper. All I'd ever used was a flip down. And it wasn't until, like something like this. Our CMR Fabrication Mini is 10 ounces. So now our ultralight mini is like 8.5 ounces.
Yeah, I think we weighed that one with the lenses at 8.6.
8.6 is what yours was. Yeah, that's right. Because you have, and then yours isn't even the ultralight panel, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. What did we weigh out a flip down? You've got
this one was 32 ounces.
32 ounces. And if you think that doesn't make a difference when some of these guys, a lot of people don't understand the industry of chasing pipe or working on pipe or pipe welding. Building boilers, building facilities, treater plants, batteries, things like that. There are times when it's like, hey, they're coming to tap into this well and get the green machine going on it, or they're gonna pressure it, and they want to pull fluid and they want to chase it into the tie-in going out to the lac. They want to do this and they want to test everything, and it's coming right now. And there's machines and everybody, and they're not going to wait on you. No. So these guys will be out here hours, ridiculous amount of hours. And then that's when you start to realize that something like this starts driving you nuts. Oh, yeah. And your
head fatigue.
Yeah, it just really can be a pain in the butt. But the biggest thing about a pancake is going to be, and probably the final thing I would say is, in a fabrication situation, you might be flipping it up, popping it down, doing a little tack, checking things, getting a square, doing that. They're so efficient on the line that the main purpose of the guy wearing this is he's getting paid for this. Right. Or right hand, whichever one you are. And they're getting paid to burn rock. They're not getting paid to play. They're not getting paid to check, to fit, to lay out, to go back and grind. It's all a machine. You're just trucking and going. So you're out on the road, and then the whole purpose of you being out there as the welder is to weld. You're only worth something to them when you can put your head down and go. And so, we have a saying in the field, once the hood's down, play's over. We're not playing anymore. Some guys say it a little different than that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think
I've heard it different than that. You're really not going to find these a lot in shops, in fabrication scenarios, not because they wouldn't work, but they're not ideal for those scenarios. It's the conditions that make something like this come about. Right. There's a reason why there's probably, with us included now, constantly building. There's probably, I think, 4 companies. There's some really great companies out there. Wendy's and Sarge's and Original Pancake, they all make great product. They're great companies. They've been around, Wendy's and Sarge's, they've been around forever. Right. And they've been doing it for a long time. There's a couple guys that used to make some really cool pancakes that are just not around anymore. But for the most part, there's not a lot of people that make these because it's industry specific. Right, I wouldn't go to Harbor Freight. I would compare wearing a flip up out on the row to going to Harbor Freight to get your tools instead of Mac. because you work on cars all day, that would just not make any sense. Maybe in a pinch, you don't have a certain tool and you need to run somebody down there to get one you're going to bust up and give back.
Right.
But yeah,
Not all
that's
day, every day.
No, not in the conditions that they've got set up.
Yeah.
So
and the things that amazed me with this is when I was TIG welding on those pie cuts from the video last week, which I'll link right up here, the clarity on this hood was par none with the shop lights and everything else going in the background. Having the glass gas lens on my TIG welder and welding the pie cuts, I could see everything I was doing. I could see everything behind it. I've got the Arc 1 lens in here, auto darkening. Second you strike the arc, it just, I mean, it was beautiful. I would compare it to the high-end flip-up hoods, but the flip-up hoods, you still get the background. You're still looking at yourself half the time when you have lights behind you or you're welding outside.
Right.
So that's why I got this. And the other thing is, I can't believe how comfortable this box is.
it is, you know.
I looked at it and thought, okay, it's a nasty wooden box. I don't want to put that against my face, but once we sanded it down and got it fit perfectly to my face with a hat on and everything, you don't even notice it's there. I mean, it probably weighs less than this canvas shirt I'm wearing.
Probably, possibly.
I mean, it is ridiculously light.
Yeah.
And super nice, top quality. I mean, they've come a long ways with carbon fiber.
Yeah, yeah.
And y'all are at the leading edge of it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably going to be the gist of it. There are going to be guys who have never used them and who've never been in a situation with a pancake. And I've said it myself, and many have said it, who didn't just go out and get on pipe. What in the heck do you wear that thing for?
Yeah.
It makes, because it doesn't even look like a normal hood.
No, it looks silly.
Yeah.
And I told Colin, who was also in another one of my videos, which I'll also link up here somewhere.
Kaluzny! What's up?
He's
a good
Colin
dude.
Kaluzny.
Yeah.
I saw one of his hoods and I was like, dude, why do you use these stupid things?
That is ridiculous.
They look ridiculous. Like this 2819, why are we still using these old school pancake looking hoods? And I tried it on and it kind of blew my mind. So once I found out that these guys were literally like 10 miles away from my house, and if that, I had to get one.
And hood holders. I mean, a lot of guys, oh, $40 for that hood holder, it's nothing I can make. I said, when you're sitting in your truck and it's the 7th day of the week that you haven't had off, and you set your hood on your seat, and then your helper gets in your truck, if you let him in there, and he sits on the thing, or he throws the beveler in there, or he throws some tool in there, and you hear, and you don't have a backup, $40 don't sound so bad.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden you're like, why don't I have one of those? And the way that we made this is, you know, you've got a flap on there, and it's pretty generic in the size. Because people's trucks, like I run that 97 Dodge, and my back seat is a lot narrower than that. So you can heat this up. If you want to heat it up and reshape it to fit your seat, you can. But I made it to go over most seats. Like if I sit in my driver's seat, and this is sitting on the back side of the passenger seat. So when it's like that, just picture me reaching over the back side of my seat. I pop this off, and I just stick it in. And now, if you reach off the back of the seat, it's not going to get crushed as easy. It's not going to get beat up as easy. You can, and it's made also, this kind of tapers at the top up there. So a lot of trucks, the headrest can come off. So you just tuck that under there. And if it doesn't, notch it a little bit. I don't have, there's so many varieties of trucks out there.
Especially on the line.
Yeah.
You got the guys with a brand new truck.
Oh
you
man,
got the guys with
the
the
beautiful
old
King
pieces.
Ranch. You got the, it's just, there's so many different ones. But it'll do what it needs to do. And the flap is big enough to, extend it out or retract it or however you want, heat it up. You can even use your torches if you want to. I mean, it won't make it pretty, but if you don't have a little heat gun, a little map gas or something, get it away a little bit, just get it warmed up and reshape it. Just to make it convenient for if you want to hang it over your pipe, or if you want to hang it off, I hang mine on my truck on the backside there. If you've got your arm sticking out with your umbrella and you've got a little spot for it, you can slap that on there and hang your hood on there, and you're just not beating it up.
Yeah, it's just like having a toolbox for your tool.
Exactly.
This is your tool, and this is where it belongs.
Yeah. We've just stepped up the materials. We've built a hood that you should never have to replace our panels.
No.
The box, there's no way around balsa. We've tried all kinds of things, the 3D printing, different ideas, coming up with different prototypes. Plastic, rubber, but you know what? It works. That's why guys have been using it for so long.
Yeah.
But it is a soft product. I mean, we stepped up to a number 3 balsa. We put some pine in there because our product's lighter, so it anchors better. We put hardener on it and fire retardant materials and blah, 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 blah. But still, at the end of the day, when you got to sand it down and make it fit, this material just, I haven't found anything yet. Cody and I haven't found anything yet that works better. But I hope that helps, and I hope that helps the people out there understand I know it looks odd. It doesn't look anything like a standard hood, but it's for a specific application.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been outside welding in conditions that change constantly, whether it's, because most people won't weld in the rain, and you shouldn't. It's not necessarily safe. Sometimes the conditions or the circumstances or the rush or the emergency, whatever, requires them to, you're not always in a hooch,
Yeah.
but I've been out in the snow, weed burning my pipe to get it warm enough, and it's still snowing, and having my helper, cover me up with the umbrella, bringing that over and working, on a facility. You never know what the weather's going to be like. It's going to be windy one minute, it could be raining the next, and you just need product you can depend on. And this type of hood works perfectly for pipe welding in those conditions. It just does the job.
All right, well, that's probably going to be it for today. If y'all have any questions, go check them out on Instagram. He'll answer any question y'all have. Just send him a DM. Check their website out, get all the pricing and the hood holders. They sell it all online. So just go check them out, give them a like, and
Thanks for your time.
yeah, come back next time.
Weld it right, boys. Stay safe. Thank you for your support.